seems to be a bigger problem than ever. I want to be seen as more than, but how? Oh, there's
Hey,
Nikki.
Nikki.
Oh, Nikki, I'm so glad you're here. How great to have you
Thank you.
join us. Um, yes, we're thrilled to have
Thank you.
you. So you thought you had it under control, but it's bigger than you thought
Yeah,
it would
because
be. I think when you say you want to be
it seems
seen,
like it seems like it's more effective if I'm looking for a job or if I'm talking to somebody or anything in general like that. It seems to be becoming more of an issue than ever. Um, um,
so pressure brings it
yeah,
on.
exactly,
The pressure brings it
exactly.
on. Yeah. Well, and so you probably need to meditate or put yourself in a place that gives you a little more calm and peace. Because, I mean, you look perfectly fine. I'm sure you would be good on any job interview. It's just that all of us, listen, when I go to audition for a role as an actress, believe me, I get the heebie-jeebies. I have all kinds of
Well,
butterflies in my
see,
stomach. So you just have to just take it easy.
see, my learning
Go ahead.
disability is social, so like I can't read social cues. So like if somebody has stony face, I think I tend to laugh, or if I can't tell if somebody's serious or when they're not. It's very much a delayed reaction. I have to go. What do you mean? Or is what are you talking about? Like I have to literally get into somebody's head. I mean,
Well, I think if you take it slow, I mean, I don't know much about the disability that you're talking about, but I would imagine if you just take it slow, the person will understand that you're looking for information. And I mean, I oftentimes ask people, I'm not sure what you mean. Sometimes we don't all speak the same language, even though we have the same vocabulary. So sometimes you just need to slow it down and say, could you just clarify that for me? I'll bet you do pretty well. Anybody else have anything they want to say? Sue, Doreen? Oh, we wish you luck, Nikki. You want to say something, Sue?
No, no, go ahead.
Oh. Nikki, we wish you luck and thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to meet
nice to
you.
meet you too.
Bye bye. Good luck. Reed Donahue. Hello, Reed Donahue. This is my daughter-in-law, and I'm so happy to hear from you, Reed. Can you put your picture up? We'd love to see you. I'd love everyone to see you. You're such a pretty girl and such a good friend to me. And Reed wants to know, what did I learn about myself from writing the book? Oh, wow, that's a good question. Well, what I learned actually is that I need to slow it down.
Mm.
That the thing that I said earlier, which is think big and work small, is really important. There's Reed. Hiya, Reed. How great to see you. Are you there with some friends? Oh, great. Hi. Oh, how great. That's wonderful. She read the memo. Get your friends over. That's fabulous. That's great. Well, that's really what I did learn, is that sometimes I think so big, and I don't mind that my dreams are big, but I got to take it a step at a time, or I could trip and fall on my own ambition and my own excitement, and also scare myself away from what I really want because I'll think, well, I can't do it, rather than take it slow, take it easy, and I'll get there actually faster than if I tried to speed through it. What about you, Reed? What are you thinking about changing in your life?
Um, I don't really know exactly what I'm changing. My children are going on in the next year or two. So, this book was inspirational for me, knowing that people do make the change and take risks.
Yeah, well, I know your daughter has her driver's license, and your son's going to
Yeah.
college, so you're pretty much at less. Yeah, yeah, and now what are you doing now? Tell
Right now,
everybody.
I'm a preschool.
Which is
So that's and I love what I
right.
do.
Yeah, I know, but now you'll have more time to do
Exactly.
even more,
Yes.
which will be great. Thank you for tuning in to us, and thank you for
Thank
bringing your
you.
friends. How exciting to see you! It's really fun. Bye, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Uh, thanks, Reed. What's our next question? Wasn't that was fun to have a member of my family show up? Um, The next question is, okay, how about this? What was the worst advice you were given when trying to figure out how to reinvent yourself? From Mary J. Catlett. Oh, this has got to be a good one. How about you, Lori, now that you're back? You've got some. What was the worst advice you were given when trying to figure out how to
Lori,
reinvent
you must
You
have
yourself?
something fantastic.
crazy? Yes. Yes. Are you crazy? I know my parents are watching right now, but I have
Are
to
you?
say, when I called my mom, my dad was on the other line, of course, and I said, "So I'm going to quit architecture and build this business." My mom was like,
This dating online
no, my
business.
mom said, "That's cute, Lori." No, I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
serious. I'm really leaving my 15-year career in architecture to build this business. So,
Oh,
not that that was bad advice. They've been the biggest supporters out of anyone through my struggles and everything. But, I think if you believe in yourself and you believe in your idea, you can't pay attention to what anyone in your marathon or your path is saying to you. I mean, still to this day, 4 years into my launch of my business, people are still like, "Do you know when to pull the plug?" And I'm like, Not
hmm
even computing what you're talking about right now. I'm going forward. I believe in
Right.
this more than anything, and there is no way I'm quitting. That nothing has brought me more joy than building this business, and I feel like I'm living an American dream. End of story. I'm not going anywhere.
That's great. That's great. That's great. And you can get Cheeked, and there's her website up there, cheeked.com. And we had a little picture of one of your cards, which are just fabulous. Too bad I'm not still dating. I'd get a whole batch
I
of them.
always say when people's
Next
marriages
question.
don't work out, they can always sign up to cheat. I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, I just hope I don't need it.
I hope so too.
Next question. Okay, this from Hillary Tisman. As you began researching and writing It Ain't Over, was there anything that surprised you about the women you met? I'll tell you what surprised me was the guts. There's a lot of guts involved with the women in this book. One woman with two kids went to the mailbox one day and found out that her husband was cheating on her. And she said to herself, I was not raised to be a victim. I'm not going to be a victim, and I'm going to start my life over. And she did. And another woman was abused by her husband, and she ran out of her house with her kids with just the clothes on her back. It takes a lot of courage as to where you're going to go and where's a safe place, and she had a safe place, and she ran to it. Um, Another woman had was laid off and was really didn't have a cent to her name and had to figure out how to start all over again and create a new her, a new life, a new everything. So another woman lost her brother in 9/11, and the despondency she felt. This very close relative of hers, they were texting all the time. They were very, very close, and his death put a hole in her heart, and she decided, her and her mother and father, to start a foundation to help other victims of this kind of trauma. So starting over in so many different ways. How do you fill your heart again? When you've been crushed in that way, it's very hard. So I think the biggest surprise I got in meeting these women is just how much courage women have, and how they each started over and from scratch, from zero. One woman had an autistic child, and she uh, didn't have any health insurance for the child. She got laid off, and she got laid off, and then she realized she didn't have any health insurance, and so she started a consignment business because she liked furniture and liked flea markets and stuff, and she started a new company in order not only to support herself and her child, but because she needed to be able to afford health insurance for a sick child. And so it's just amazing to me how these women just took life by the reins and started again. And I really do believe, and I'm not just saying this to be Pollyanna, I believe we have that inside of us. Each of us has a space inside of us that's been there since the day we were born, that's strong and that will make it. Just have to tap into it and then tap into anybody else who also can help you uh, get out of the stuck place that you're in. Okay, pardon me? New person's coming in. Oh, good. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. Thanks, Hillary. Thank you. Next question is a question for all of you. What was the first moment you realized that you were going down the right path and the dream was worth it? That's a good question. So when did you realize that, Carol? Because you made a big switch in your life from an IBM manager to becoming a massage therapist. What was the moment you realized that this was the right path and the dream was worth it?
It was probably when I was sitting in my massage class and I was learning about anatomy and physiology, which I had never had to take in school. And I was leaning forward on the desk and so focused in on every word that they were saying and realizing that I wanted to learn more about it. It was something that I needed to learn more about, and it was going to put me on a whole path of knowing my body better. We talk about a lot about knowing ourselves and feeling comfortable with ourselves, and I realized that I didn't know anything about how my body worked, and that was, to me, a huge disconnect. And the opportunity that I had to take a year off and go to school and connect with other people who were on the same path that I was, that was when I realized that as energized as I was about it, that I must be on the right path.
And when did you realize the dream was really worth it? Were you feeling happier? Were you feeling less pressured, more relaxed, or more like the pieces started to fit? I mean, what is that feeling when you know it's worth it?
An example that actually was written in my story in the book, and that was when my husband and I were at a gathering of people with some other IBM people, and I was engaged with somebody, and I heard somebody talking to my husband off to the side, and they knew that this was a big change for him because instead of me working 10, 12-hour days and being gone all the time, I was going to be home a lot more. And so I overheard someone asking my husband, so how is this change for Carol working out? And my husband said, he said, I haven't heard her laugh this much in years. And that was my aha moment.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, those are when the pieces of the puzzle really fit. Did you feel that too, Sue?
Oh,
You're smiling and
absolutely.
nodding
I'm
there.
smiling because I can feel all the women who are here smiling because it's the same thing. You want to bring the joy back into your life and you can feel it. For myself, it was that
Right.
everybody said yes. The volunteers, if I asked someone to do it, they were like, sure. And I contacted the domestic violence shelters and they were like, sure. So even in the process of a very busy life, there were a lot of yeses in sequence, and the laughter and the joy that Carol was talking about is right there. I mean, I know Lori feels the same way. There's just something, I know, Lori, something that tickles you when you hear about a connection that's been really made through Cheeked, and you're like, I knew this worked. I knew this worked. Like what they said. It's remarkable, and it's something that doesn't require any validation. It's not a group validation. It's something where you are trusting your instinct, and you know you're on the right path. And it's just each and every moment. It's a delight. It's a real delight.
Let's go to the next question. Thanks, everybody. Pardon me? Yes, be great. Would love a video question. Those are the most fun. You get to meet new people. This is from Jen Wallace. Hi, Jen. Welcome.
How are you?
How exciting.
This is awesome. Sue Rock, who's one of my favorite people. And Marlo, this is amazing that you're doing this. It feels like we're practically next door neighbors.
That's great. Have you got a question for us, or did somebody ask you a question that you want us to answer? That would be great.
Question, which is, I am living my dream. I love my work, but my question is, how do women especially, I'm sure men run into this, but women especially who are passionate about their work, take it to the next level, which is to build a company beyond a core group of people, um, to create some kind of legacy so that we're doing something important with our work after we're gone. Because I think it's really hard, for me at least, to trust that other people will care about my clients and my work as much as I do.
And what is your work?
I do senior move management. I help seniors downsize and declutter and move to retirement communities.
Mm-hmm. And Lori or Sue or Carol, do any of you want to answer this question?
I mean, I can chime in. I think
Please, Lori, go
anything
ahead.
you're
Yeah.
doing to help. I mean, it sounds like you've got a job or a dream that's helping people, and anything that touches a community of people, I think will be a legacy. I mean, who knows how many marriages I'll create from my dating idea, but if you Google search my business, it's going to go down in history. And as long as there's the internet, you'll know about what I've built and how hard I worked to do it. And I feel like even if your business fails, there are inspiring things that you've done that may inspire other people. So the legacy goes further than just what you're building. I mean, at least once a week, I get an email from someone that says, "I'm so inspired by your passion and your conviction." That stubbornness back about me again is inspiring other people. But more than what you're doing, it's just, I think, giving it all that you have can go miles.
The only little piece,
It's great.
only tiny piece I would share with that is that it's almost like you have to think outside of the box of what you would expect the people to look like who would be supporting your vision for the next generation. And what happened for me is that I began to craft what that team would be like. Who are those people? If I don't see them right now, who would they be? What would they look like? What would they feel like? What would their passion be like? And slowly begin to start looking for them to gain the support. Also, I love what Lori said because it means thinking outside the box, that the longevity may come in different ways than the people carrying on the mission in this circumscribed way, because it's 2014. There's going to be a whole nother level of development in 2016 and then in 2020, where you may have this virtual national way that you're doing the decluttering business that you never even envisioned. So I would say to stay hopeful and
And
encouraged by
also
all of that, because
along
things are always changing. Lori, that was brilliant. That's so true.
and also along the way, every person you meet is picking up something different from
It's so
you.
true.
It's so interesting to me. We can all be in a room listening to someone, and we all take away something different because we all take away what we needed at that moment, and what we need to really digest. We're all like little squirrels looking for these nuts that really help nurture us. Thanks so much, Jen. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Wonderful that you came aboard. We got a new question, and we got to bring Carol. I'm not Carol. Doreen back. Where's Doreen from Ohio? We're missing her. There she is. Let's ask another question. Clearly you are, this is from Mary. Oh, Mary, clearly you are all thinking modern women of media. How might social media help or hinder reinvention? And is crowdsourcing a fair approach when finances are a concern? Anybody have any experience with crowdsourcing? I don't. Do you all?
Personally used it.
I wonder if somebody
I
did you use
No,
it,
I
Carol?
haven't personally used it, but I have several family members who are doing small projects that they love. They're in theater and dance, so they have been able to use that as a way to raise some just sort of startup funds and get the money they need to do the next event. And it's helping them get visibility and helping them to follow their kind of side passions while they're growing their visibility.
I think also this, and I do also do know of people who have used it, but the question also began with, does social media help or hinder reinvention? And I think that in many ways the social media does help reinvention. because you can get more information about what it is you're hoping to do. You can find more like-minded people by going out and looking for them on your Facebook and Twitter pages and other people's Facebook and Twitter pages. And also, instead of like this one woman I was talking about, instead of having to build a store or rent a store or buy a store, you can sell your goods on the internet. There's a lot of ways in which the internet can help women, I think, get started. You might sell something on the internet and then find that it really is a good idea, and then find ways to sell it in other stores and so forth, and then maybe one day even have your own place. So I think I don't see really a hinder to reinvention by social media. Does anybody else see any hindrance to it? No. Okay. Thanks, Mary. Next question. This is from Tyra. I know it's time for reinvention because although I've been successful, however you define that, I've lost my passion for the industry that I've been in for the last 20 plus years. My challenge is figuring out a new passion. How do I find it if it isn't readily apparent? Well, I'll throw in one little thought and then we'll hear from everybody else. But I think what are some things you like to do? And can that be a way in which becomes the next livelihood for you? As I told you, the woman who made jewelry, the woman who liked to make caramels, who got laid off, and she made a business out of her caramel candy. The fact that, what is it you love to do, and can you use that as a way of finding your next passion? And sometimes we overlook the things we love to do. We see it as a hobby, when in fact it may very well be what we could use now to make a new business. Does anybody else have any thoughts about that?
I would also say just be open to new people and new experiences and new things. Read, whether it's books or magazines or newspapers, whatever. You never know where an idea will lead to a spark. For my husband, he got the whole bus thing idea because he was at the local newsstand looking at car magazines, and he sees this magazine about bus conversions. So there we are, living on a bus. So you never know when inspiration can happen. Just be open.
Yeah. That's a big thing, to lose your passion, because I think that our best chance at a happy life is to do something we're passionate about. So, and I think that Sue and Carol, you both found that in your lives, as well as Doreen and Lori. You found something that you were passionate about, and you made a new life with it. Let's go. Thanks, Tyra. I hope that helped. Do we have a next question? Be great. Gazelle Shields. How can we improve our weakness when it comes to looks?
We all
How
always
can we
look
improve our
great.
work?
What do you
I'm
mean?
not
We
sure what
all always look wonderful. We always look beautiful. All of us are always beautiful. I don't understand that question. All of us are gorgeous women. What we're women. That's you can't get any better than that.
I'm so glad you said that. And Laura Foreman just
You
says,
get to
Sue
know how
Rock,
you
you
look.
rock.
You get so wise and gorgeous
That's
and defiant and sassy.
that's absolutely true. And you get to love those love
Yes.
handles, Come on. Embrace them. Embrace those love handles. They're yours. I like that Betty Davis used to say that. She says, these are my wrinkles. I earned them. I think that we do. We earn a
But I'm
lot.
teasing. I didn't mean to. Yeah, be
I
wise.
feel no. I think, but you were being lighthearted about something that is really true.
You're all we
Is
have.
that
You're all you
you,
have.
yes, that's right. And I think our look should not be our weakness. Our weakness is our lack of faith. That's our weakness. Our lack of faith in ourselves. Our lack in the belief that we are our best resource. Thank you so much. Let's get another question. Hope we helped. We'd love a video question. We've got a video question from Randy, did you say? Here you go. Here's Randy Ross. Hi there,
Hi,
Randy.
Marlo. How are you?
Hi
Thanks
there.
for having me in the room.
I'm good. Oh, we're thrilled to have you.
This is so exciting.
What's your question?
My question revolves around something that I find often becomes a little bit of an obstacle, is that I get a little too attached to an outcome that I'm expecting when I'm trying to move forward and, reinvent or recreate, and sometimes miss things because I have that little bit of tunnel vision. Instead of seeing some of the other opportunities that are there, they might not just be the outcome I was expecting. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Wow, that is a great question. And as an actor, I have learned how not to do this because in acting, they always tell you don't look for the result. You don't say, oh, I'm going to cry in this scene. What you're going to do in this scene is explore the scene. And whatever it takes you, that whatever that result is will be organic to you. So you don't want to lose the fun of the journey. You don't want to lose you know, you don't know what the result is going to be. It's like going out on a date and saying, this is the man I'm going to marry. That's impossible. You go out on a date and you see what's going to happen. And I think that's the great thing about life, that life is an adventure. I mean, Doreen had no idea she was going to make a life of being on that bus. She was kind of just trying to be open to her husband, let him have some time on the bus with her, and then she'd get back to doing her shrink work. But it turned out she fell in love with the bus. So I think that it really is when they say that the journey is what is the exciting part of life. Um, it's the truth. What you learn along the way, keep your eyes open, take your blinders off, and look all around and smell it all and feel it all and see it all. Because what the outcome is going to be, you do not know, and what you don't want to be stuck with was an outcome you thought of 5 years ago. You want to see what the new outcome actually is. I mean, that's my advice, but maybe Carol has a different thought on that.
Is that I know sometimes I would try things and I would have a certain expectation, and it didn't end the way that I had thought it would. But as I stepped back, I realized it had opened another door. It had taken me down a path that wasn't where I thought I was going to go, and yet I realized that I had learned something from it, and it had actually introduced me to another person or another situation. And I tried to remain open to the fact that now, okay, well, I'm going to go, take this fork in the road and take this alternate path. And it led to something, really, really interesting and really important for my life. It was like it was where I needed to get to, but I had to kind of take the little side road first.
Oh, I hope that